Look at that. We're going to start with Chris Burgos up there in that corner.
Gary, it's awesome to be here as always. My name's Chris Burgos. I work with NewTek. I've been working with them a little over 8 years now. My background is I actually started working with a TriCaster in college and working events and shows, covering those kinds of sports games and things like that. And that's sort of that road eventually led me to the position where I am now to talk to everyone here about how NewTek and things like a TriCaster and some of our products can help in education.
What do you think will be the top technology development affecting schools and production, not 3 years from now, but right now, this year, 2023?
Yeah, I think that we're going to see a big change in interconnectivity. Um, Piggybacking off of the technologies we implemented during the pandemic, how do we interconnect, leveraging something like NDI and the ability to do things over the WAN? How do we interconnect our school districts? NDI stands for Network Device Interface, and it is our way at NewTek for ease of connectivity for video, audio, things like camera control, and allows our systems to very quickly expand in just using the network. And so I'm using NDI technology currently on this show, as I often do. I am on a green screen, but I'm actually taking my webcam and bringing that in over the network to my TriCaster, and then doing sort of the key and all that stuff. If two things speak NDI, you can get them communicate very easily without having to be an IT wizard. If you're an educator and wondering, is this IT stuff maybe too slick and too advanced for me? I would say NDI is very much not that. It is ultra easy and has been from day one designed to work in classrooms and work in churches with volunteers. Like that was our initial goals, was make this crazy IT thing something that's palatable for just about anybody.
There's TriCasters, but there's TriCasters like the minis, which are a little more friendly, easier to use. And then there's the big boys, that have a lot more complexity, or what was used in network productions and, for professional sports games. So you guys have different products for different levels. So talk about that a little bit, where you would see which of your products would be in, let's say, a high school setting versus what you would really recommend for a college.
If you're looking at deploying TriCasters, you might start at something like the Mini. I think the Mini is an amazing entry-level tool, especially at the middle school level. You touched on middle school. I think there's a lot of content creation that's happening. These students are growing up on YouTube. They're growing up on TikTok. For them, the world's already at their fingertips. So why not give them the opportunity to enhance that and grow that with something like the Mini? And then I go to the growth and my own path of like covering sports at the high school and college level. I think something like a TC1 and really the One Pro now, because I can do some slick things with that, is that perfect fit where we want to grow our production. We're a decent sized school. We care about our broadcast program. We care about our sports program. We want to do streaming, and we're going to grow beyond that. That system is really all that and more. When I get to the college level, earlier in our conversation, we talked about those top tier colleges. TC2s, and I do say it with an S, because you have different departments, whether in digital, whether they're in marketing, whether they're covering multiple sports across the campus, whether they are making their own esports arena. These guys are looking at these top tiers of systems. And what you're really getting as you go up the food chain there is better capabilities for graphics, more capabilities for inputs, the ability to stream multiple outputs, control multiple displays. And those guys really want that level of production. And so there's a TriCaster for everybody.
NewTek's got Live Call Connect, you've got NDI Production Bridge, you've got NDI Bridge, and you've got the whole concept of a cloud versus remote architecture. I can't give you an hour, but I can give you a couple of minutes. Talk about what NewTek's doing in that space, especially how it can be used by, educators.
For educators, I think there's nothing easier than what we're doing at just the base NDI level. Even this call, which we're using some of the cooler production tools behind the scenes, just as easy as having Teams enabled with NDI is something that I know some of my other contributors talked about. It's not very difficult to grab a webcam and bring it into your Teams environment. That's actually what I did here. I'm running two free pieces of software, one called NDI Webcam to generate my webcam. That's going to be my look for the show. The other one is actually a screen capture software. So if I needed to showcase my screen or my webcam, in either case directly, I could do that. So this is two free pieces of software that you can download today and have very ease of use to integrate. As we step forward and look at things like our distributed production tools, we talk about Live Call Connect, which is our ability to very easily join a Teams or a Zoom call or a Discord call or any number of other services, things like Slack, etc., and just grab those sources for production needs. This is, we're talking about the high school level or the college level where we're doing sort of these remote environments. I think a lot about remote sports, and even today your college football coach can operate the Zoom on his phone. So now you can bring him in as a remote contributor wherever he's at and talk about, hey, why did the game go this way? You know, who was our star player, etc. And then when we really graduate to the top level, that's NDI Bridge. If you've seen me on a call in the last 2 years, you've seen me wave the flag of NDI Bridge because of all the cool things it does. NDI Bridge basically says, hey, we do all this NDI stuff typically within one network. What if we take this technology and bring it over to the wide area network? And what would make that easy? And NDI Bridge does that. So not a ton of IT needs to set up. We open some port.
Chris, your last thoughts?
We're talking with educators here, and educators are going to work with students. If your student base wants to learn deeper about their NewTek equipment, the NewTek University courses are entirely free for students. So if you want to get access to that and your student has an
Great.
EDU, they are totally enabled.